My beautiful viewers, we are in for a surprise. You are in for a treat. But let me start. Just give me 1 second. Here you are. Share. Oh no, where are you going now? I don't want you to go there. No. Where are you? Now I have to get my glasses off. My beautiful viewers, just give me 1 second. Okay, come back. Share. There you are. Here we go. So my beautiful viewers, Gail and beautiful Janice is going to have a masterclass, but as soon as Janice come in, we will ask her to introduce her as well. So my beautiful Gail, can you please introduce yourself and tell us where you currently are?
Well, in this moment in time, I am in Highland Ranch, Colorado. So I'm here for another few weeks, and then I will be going to Utah, and then I'll be going to Nevada, and then I'll be going to California. But at this moment in time, I'm in Colorado, and it's beautiful here. It's absolutely gorgeous right now.
Thank you. So we're going to stop, my beautiful viewers, and as soon we will start soon. So see you in a little while. So my beautiful viewers, you are here. And guess what? Ladies, we can pick all up our hands and give the viewers some magic and some kisses. So my beautiful Gail, and Janice, you are welcome to introduce yourself, and you can take it away. Just wanted to say, the two of you is amazing. You sent me your graphics. I had to I took most of your graphics, but I had to your voice amplify it, with the right branding and that. But I'm so excited for today's show. I cannot wait for our masterclass. And my beautiful viewers, just because you take the time to spend time with us, you are now bestowing all these amazing gifts and wisdom from these two amazing ladies. Please look down below in the show notes. You will have all the details. You will have even Janice's book. Will have 2 of Gail's books is in the show notes below. And there is also a gift for you, my beautiful viewers. So I am going to zip my lips and I'm going to give it all over to Gail and Janice. Take it away, ladies.
Thank you so much, Sanet. First of all, I want to say this is an amazing opportunity. I love doing master classes for folks. You just never know how it's going to turn out. And it's always beautiful. It's always magical. And you know that I'm all about energy, right? Everything is energy. And so when you hooked me up with Janice, her and I kind of talked about that. And we decided that everything is elemental, and we will talk a little bit about what that means, won't we, Janice? So I look forward to sharing this time with you. I am a Mrs. Potts. I am an alchemist and many things. Take a look down at the notes. Janice, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Janice Debo, and all of my info is here as well. I do personal development training and coaching, and we're going to be talking about the elements in many ways today. This is going to be a lot of fun for everybody, and you'll learn for sure. I also have a podcast, Courage, Confidence, and Connections, and that's in the notes, as well as my book by the same name. I hope you'll take advantage of everything we're offering. And this is an honor to work with Gail, because when we came up with this title and the whole process, it's exciting. So
It's
that's
exciting. So let me share my screen.
all right. Gail's and she's at the helm. Let's see here. All right. All right, there we go. All right, now let's get going here.
Well, this is not working.
That's not what I'm talking about, actually. It'll be a short masterclass. Okay.
Oh, this is crazy. You go ahead, sweetheart. We got right to thank you.
Okay, I'm just gonna start.
I'm gonna stop sharing and try it again. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to be discussing the path elements, and the path elements are was developed by Laurie Beth Jones, and it uses 4 elements of fire, earth, water, and wind. It's used to improve communication, productivity, leadership, and team performance. And we'll be talking about each element, and you'll probably relate to, I'm sure you will, you'll probably get some ideas of what your elemental makeup is and who you are based on the elements. And Gail's having trouble with the slides, so that's okay. We're going to start with fire, but have you ever worked with someone or looked at someone that you were talking to and thought, why do they communicate like that? Why do they need so many details? Why are they always focused on results? Why does this conversation seem so difficult? Have you been there and done that? The truth is that most conflict isn't caused by bad intentions. It's caused by differences in how people think, communicate, and process the world. Now, today I want to introduce you to this path elements framework that helps explain those differences in a simple and practical way. It provides a common language that helps individuals, families, teams, and organizations improve communication and performance. And when we understand ourselves better, we communicate more effectively. When we understand others better, we build stronger relationships. And when teams understand one another, productivity and trust increase dramatically. Are you getting my drift? So one of the biggest challenges in any organization is communication. And that's no matter what organization, even a family organization. So think about how much time can be wasted or is wasted because messages are misunderstood, expectations aren't clear, people assume others think like they do, team members become frustrated with differences. Path Elements gives us a framework to understand those differences. Rather than labeling people as difficult, we begin to see them as different. And different is not wrong. Different is simply different. And we're all different. The framework teaches us that there are 4 primary elements found in all of us: fire, earth, water, and wind. Some individuals also demonstrate a balanced blend of multiple elements called fusion. And that means that all 4 of these elements have very close, if not exact, quantities. And so you might have across the board after taking the assessment, which I can talk about too, you would come out as a fusion. And that is a very unique blend. I've only met one. And there's fire. So let's talk about fire. Now, fire energy says, let's get it done. It's results driven. And fire personalities are decisive, competitive, goal oriented, direct, action focused. They naturally lead. They like movement. And if you think about fire in the, as you know, if you think about the actual characteristics of fire, you'll see this. They like movement. They want results. Now, according to the framework and path, fires are motivated by control and results. Fire strengths include leadership, quick decision-making, confidence, courage, vision, execution, fire challenges. Now, sometimes fires can be impatient, move too fast, forget feelings, overlook details. Fire communication tips. So when you're communicating with someone that is a fire, they want you to get to the point. Focus on the outcomes. Be concise. Don't ramble. Don't over explain. So I like to ask the audience a question. How many of you ever said, can we just make a decision already? Anybody raising their hands on that one? Okay, good. Then you're relating to what I say here. Now, Gail, if we can go to the next slide for Earth. Look at Earth. Now, we all know what Earth is, and we all know what grounding is, but the Earth is the foundation builder. Earth energy says, let's make sure it's right. Earth personalities are organized, and they too are results oriented, like fires, but differently. Earth personalities are organized, reliable, detailed, practical, systematic, and they create structure. They make sure things work. They're, I like to say, people that lean towards being like CPAs, accountants, maybe even attorneys, doctors. They can be very earth oriented. They're practical, systematic. They create structure. They make sure things work. Path identifies Earth as being motivated by accuracy and details. Now, the strengths that Earth brings are planning, organization, consistency, quality control, dependability. You're probably thinking of people right now. Anybody know anybody like this? Earth challenges. Earth may overanalyze, resist change, need too much information, move slower than others. So there are some tips for Earth when communicating with one of them, one that has these characteristics. Provide details, explain the process, give them timelines, answer questions, don't be vague, don't change plans suddenly. You will meet with resistance there. So who here likes spreadsheets, checklists, and organized calendars? Oh, we got a bunch of fires here, I can tell. Maybe a lot of wind too. Okay, but I bet you've met somebody who has that Earth. You know, I've worked with several, and this is very accurate for them. Now, water and wind are the relational elements, and I myself am a very high water element, and then secondary wind. I like to tell people I'm a hurricane, you know, with the wind, water and the wind, but not always. So water.
Can't find it.
Well, who said
Go
that?
ahead. I
Oh.
did. Sorry. I'm looking for wind. Go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. I'm going to stop sharing so you don't see me fishing all over the place.
Okay, so water energy says, how will this affect people? Water personalities are compassionate, caring, empathetic, supportive, relationship focused. I guarantee that this room is full of water energies. We create connection, build trust, help people feel valued. Path identifies waters as being motivated by harmony and compassion. So the strength of waters are team building. I think Sanet over there is probably a very high water. If all of us are in this group, team building, listening, empathy. We have a strength of conflict resolution, customer care. Now we do have some challenges. We're not perfect, but our challenges are we may avoid conflict, take things personally, and speaking personally, struggle with boundaries, put others first too often. And can I see a show of hands? Anybody relating so far to the water elements? Okay, there we go. I knew it. I knew it. Just knew it. When communicating with other waters or with waters, build rapport, show appreciation, acknowledge feelings, don't be overly harsh. And we do get our feelings hurt easily as waters. Don't ignore relationships. Audience question? Yep, that's what I want to find out. How's everybody doing so far? Good? Okay, thumbs up. Okay, good. Excellent. Well, let's go to the wind. Have you ever talked to somebody you just knew they were full of hot air? Well, that's not exactly what this is, although we've met them. Wind energy is creative visionary. And it says, what if wind personalities are creative, innovative, expressive, energetic, visionary? Now, if you're seeing yourself in more than one of these, I'm not surprised. I reflect water and wind very high. If you earth, forget it. Fire, a little bit. But we have every element. So if you're seeing high marks in all of these, you may be a fusion. So anyway, the wind personalities are visionaries. We see possibilities where others may miss those. We generate ideas, inspire excitement. And path identifies winds as being motivated by expression and attention. Wind strengths are creativity, innovation, inspiration, big picture thinking, enthusiasm. Now, I see that in all of you, actually. Wind challenges, though. Winds may lose focus, get distracted. You may not have ADHD. You may just be a high wind, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. You've got to roll with your elemental makeup. And I love when Gail will get into this at a different level, but we're talking all about these elements today. So winds may also struggle with details, start more than they finish. Wind communication tips are: allow brainstorming, encourage ideas, talk about possibilities, don't micromanage. Now that's where wind shows up with me real strong. Don't micromanage me, and don't shut down creativity. Who gets excited by new ideas before they're fully figured out in this group? Gail's gonna fly away over there. Yeah, well, that makes sense, Gail. You're dragons. Okay. Okay. So you may have strong wind energy. So my notes are just kind of crazy here. Okay, so understanding opposites. Have we got to a new slide yet? Okay, yeah, there we go. Let's go to the next one. See what's next. Okay. Okay, when you think of fire, what comes to mind? Hot. Oh, fast fingers there. Let's go back to fire real quick. There we go. All right. When you think of fire, what comes to mind? It's, oh, okay. I'm trying to keep up with Gail's fingers. It's hot, passionate, focus, control, results, mesmerizing. Any reflections on fire from anyone? Any feedback on who thinks they might be a high fire here? No? Oh, okay.
I see. I think some of the aspects, yes, definitely, yes.
Yes. Okay. So let's now, Gail, we can go to the next one. So when you think of Earth, what comes to mind? Solid, predictable, firm, growth, stable, and measured. Anybody see those characteristics in themselves? Well, we all have all four elements. Don't get me wrong, but what I'm interested in, I'm curious where you're going to see the strongest ones. Let's go to the next one, please, Gail. And water. With freezing, when you freeze somebody out, you've heard that expression. Now, water flows, it's reflective, it's easygoing, supportive, flexible, and harmony. Does that resonate with some of you?
What you didn't put down there, Janice, is that as water, sometimes I'm also a tsunami.
Exactly. That's why I'm real high water and wind. Yeah. Yeah. You probably are too. It's like you get that going and yep, watch out. Here it comes. Okay. Let's swing to the next one, please, Gail.
We're on wind.
Oh, thank you. See, not paying attention. Okay. See, that's the wind side of me. It just lost lost control here. When you think of wind, what comes to mind? Change, in motion, energetic, spontaneous, inspiring, and free. Another thing about wind is you can't see it. You can see water, you can see fire, you can see the earth, but wind you can't see coming. And that's what Gail was saying. You can't, if wind gets behind water, before you know it, it's there. But wind, who feels like you have a lot of these strong characteristics for wind? Okay, I'm not surprised, and winds are very creative. Now, if we could please go to the next slide.
Oops.
Okay. Can we go back one? Did
That's
I miss
wind.
one? Oh, that's it. Okay, go to,
Fusion.
yes, that's it. Okay, so if you see a lot of everything,
Sorry, hon. I
That's
need to keep
okay.
my hand off the clicker.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not trying to do that while I talk too. Okay. Now with fusion, fusion is very interesting. I've worked with one fusion, and a fusion, they're rare, but that's where you have all four elements pretty well balanced. That means it's very adapting, supportive, energetic, grounding, focused, and a team player. If you're seeing a strong blend of all the elements in your, from what I'm showing here, you might be a fusion, and the assessment can show that. Okay, now we can swing to the next slide, Gail. Results oriented. Okay, you can go to the next one because that's earth and fire. Okay, wind and water are relational. And if you know people that are high fires or high earth, you will notice they're less relational, such as people that I wouldn't put a I wouldn't put an earth, like a high earth, out there in sales. The problem is they're going to be miserable. They're not going to want to talk to anybody. But I also wouldn't put a high water in an office and tell them to, do accounting. They'll just go bonkers. They'll lose, they'll lose it, and you can't do that. So the water and wind were motivated by relationships. Okay, let's go to the next one, please, Gail. Pacing. What does that mean? That means, okay, pacing. Pacing simply means how you relate. And one of the most powerful concepts in path elements is recognizing opposite energies. Now, according to the framework, earth and water are opposites. Fire and water are opposites. You can relate that to nature. Earth and wind are opposite. Does that make sense to you guys? Thumbs up. Can you see the opposites? Okay. Okay, good. Now, fire wants speed, water wants connection, earth wants structure, and wind wants freedom. And that makes sense. If you look at the nature, the elements out in nature, fire, boy, we're familiar with forest fires up here where I live. And fire is like, especially if you get wind behind it, you're in trouble. And water wants connection. Water's always trying to find the path of least resistance. Earth wants structure, and that's where, if you think about Earth, though, it's not it's at the core of the Earth, it's moving very quickly. But if you look outside, it doesn't seem to be moving. Wind wants freedom. And if you look at the wind blowing through the trees, wind's trying to stay free. Now, when these elements don't understand one another, conflict can happen. But when they appreciate one another, magic happens. The goal isn't to become someone else. The goal is to understand what others need. Now, working with them, we can talk about how to work within the elements in team leadership and culture. Path Elements teaches that teams are simply two or more people working together toward a common goal. Strong teams need all four elements. If you get too much fire, you get burnout. You get too much earth, you get bureaucracy. That, I'm sure you can see that. You get too much water, you avoid difficult conversations. And if you get too much wind, you get lots of ideas and little execution. Can you see where you need all? The framework also teaches that great leaders do four things. And we're all leaders. We all work in that capacity. But great leaders excite people like fire. They ground people like earth. They transform people like water. And they release people like wind. Now that is great leadership. Okay, let's go to the next one. Anger styles. All the elements have a different way of expressing anger. And I'm sure if you've ever been around a high fire, when they get angry, there is no denying it. You're going to see it. If the water gets angry, that can turn into a freeze, or it can turn into a boil, but it's very slow. And with earth, you're likely not to see it coming. You're very likely not to see it coming. Wind is going to surprise you as well. And we'll go to the next slide, please, Gail. Okay. Strengths and challenges. briefly go through this so I don't take Gail's time. Fire, strengths, challenges, motivated towards taking control. Their strengths are bold, risk-taking, results-oriented, and decisive. But their challenges are they can be impulsive, reckless, overcommits others, opinionated. Have you ever been around somebody like that? Okay. Earth strengths and challenges. They're motivated towards accuracy and structure. Their strengths are predictable, organized, prepared, and factual. Their challenges are they can be boring, and I'm working with some strong earths right now in my business. And but see, there's also they can be perceived. You can see their strengths are being predictable, but their challenges and perception can be boring. Also inflexible. They can lack confidence, and they can tend to be very pessimistic. I'm sure you've known people like that too. Wind strengths and challenges motivated towards attention and expression. I've known a very high wind, and boy, that's the truth. They can be very optimistic, spontaneous, lively, persuasive, but unrealistic at the same time, impulsive, hyper, and fast talking. Water strengths and challenges, we're motivated towards stability and compassion. Strengths are loyal, supportive, team player, and sensitive. But challenges that we have are used by others, procrastinating, being a people pleaser, and thin-skinned. And so by show of hands, who sees themselves as a fire? How about earth? No earths. Okay. Wind should have a lot of, yep. Okay. High water. Anybody feel like a water out there? And me, of course. Okay, Gail, let's slide over so we can wrap this up. So, essential element is your most intense element. Supporting elements, your secondary, like mine, water, and then wind. Fusion elements occur when the elemental intensity is very close together. Okay, and next one, please. Elemental intensity, assertive, on fires, decisive, controlling. Earth, detailed, precise, perfectionist. Water, harmonious, patient, lenient. And wind is outgoing, convincing, and excitable. Okay. As we finish today, which element is hardest for you to understand? Anybody got any ideas out there you want to share? After what I've shared, do you have any feedback on elements that you have a hard time communicating with?
I think Earth a little bit, as my husband is definitely an Earth person, mostly. And yeah, I like to, that's my challenge. Not a challenge, but sometimes he is boring, but I still love him.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And how could understanding that element improve your relationship, Sanet?
I actually look at most of these advantages of Earth, and the boring part is not really that boring. I can make up for that, so I'm good with that now. Thank you.
Yes, I know you can. I think that's fantastic. So you've got some balance there. When we learn to appreciate the differences instead of fighting them, we create more understanding, more productivity, and more success. So my final reflection here, before I turn the floor over to Gail, is the goal is not to change who you are. The goal is to understand who you are, appreciate who others are, and communicate in a way that brings out the best in everyone. So we've gone through all of this, Gail. We can just fast forward there. And we can keep moving. There we go. Okay. That
Guess
wraps
where
up.
we are. We're on earth, wind, fire, and water, the elementals. And so before we begin, I want to explain a little bit the difference between elements and elementals. Elementals are actual creatures. They're beings that are of the elements. And you heard Janice say, we are all of the elements. Elementals are not all of the elements. They could be one, they could be two, they could be three, but they're not all. And because they're not all of the elements, our eyes don't see them. But it does not mean that they're not there. We can feel them, we can sense them. We talk to our angels, we talk to our dragons, right? We know that they're there. And they know that we're here and they want to communicate. And so when we talk about the elementals, right? And geez, these look so familiar, Janice, right? So we have Earth. Earth as an elemental is a towering figure and made of stone and vines. Fire is fierce and it's weathered by obviously flames. Wind, ethereal, flowing, robes are swirling, right? Very ethereal. And water is a graceful fluid form with waves and droplets. And so I think these guys are going to be in my dragon card series I'm creating because they came out pretty good, don't you think? So we're going to talk a little bit about one by one. And if we have some time, Sanet, I have a meditation. I have one on water and one on fire. And I think I want to do the fire one because none of us here relate to fire. Okay. So water, when we think of water, it's associated with the West, right? When we do a meditation, we look at the West, which is introspective, the end of a cycle, maturity. Water is the conductor of energy, allowing the emotion I feel to move freely within me, which makes it sense when you think that I am drawn to the West Coast. I am drawn west. Why? Because I'm looking for that fluidity. I'm looking for that connection, right? And then we have fire, which is associated with the south, right? Look how he's going south. Isn't that amazing how we did that? And that's growth, warmth, summer. Fire is not a destroyer. And in fact, Janice, you mentioned forest fires. Forest fires actually fertilize the land for new growth. They have a purpose when they're not created by man. When they're created by nature, they have a purpose. And the burning flame of fire is something I feel during change, transformation, passion, right? I don't know if any of you have been to that level of passion where you've touched the stars. That is burning fire. I will tell you that. And then we have earth. And earth is associated with the north. Marie, you are living in the earth zone. Definitely the earth zone. And there's wisdom, stability, and winter. And when we look to the earth, it's ancient, deep, unshakable. I feel connected to Gaia when I feel really anchored to the earth. And literally, I've gone on walks and I can taste and smell the dirt during those times when I'm connecting with the earth dragon and the earth energy. And then air. Isn't she beautiful? Air is with the east, new beginnings, birth, renewal. And when I think of earth, those elementals remind me of fairies, feeling of being free-spirited, and the moments of elusiveness, like an idea can't quite yet be touched. And I think, Janice, you mentioned it's not yet formulated, right? It's being created, but not yet solid and formulated. So from a elemental perspective, these elements, when an elemental comes to you, when a dragon comes to you, when an angel comes to you, when a fairy comes to you, when they come to you, your guides come to you, when the masters come to you, they come to you with their elementals, bringing those strengths to you in a time of need or guidance. One of the things that I have taught many of my clients is that, you know, we all have spirit guides. We're born and then we acquire spirit guides that are with us through our life for certain transitions. Some guides don't stay. And I will give you, the writing guide does not stay with me. I am not a writer. But when I am inspired to write, my guides say, hey, we need someone to help her here. She's writing. Come and give her a hand. And that guide comes and I can feel everything just like pours out of me seamlessly. And then I know it's gone because I'm like, well, I wrote that. I cannot believe I wrote that. That's an elemental. It's real. It's just not tangible in this dimension. So elements, elementals, they're all part of who we are and what we are. And we do have plenty of time if you would like. why don't we start with the water meditation? Is this the water one? Yes, it is. We'll start with the water meditation, and then we'll go to fire because we have time. Okay, wait a minute. We have some chats here. Oh, okay. So it's just going to ask if there could be more than one. What do you mean, Paul? Because I wasn't there when the question was asked. Unmute.
Oh, thank you. It actually got answered when it was just carrying on when the fusion came up and the conversation was just around it. When you were asking if anybody, not you, Gail, but when
Janice.
the question was posed, which one are you feeling more drawn to, Janice? The fusion was actually what was pulling me. And I had no way to describe it. And that's why I was like, oh, this is interesting. Okay. So everything around this has been great. And again, you're bringing in the dragons and the grounding, and they're all I like, how does this all fit together? And I really want to talk with both of you in how this fits in, because there's something magical happening right now.
Well, then rather than do a meditation, why don't we do a conversation? Because that's what's coming up. So
I'm
specifically, what are you thinking? Where's your confusion? How can Janice get off mute? Come on, babe.
Oh, well, no confusion per se. I mean, I'm just drawn to all of the elemental. I get the feelings of not to control them, but I interact with them. I understand how it flows. And I can see moments in my life where each of those have played out, and being able to draw from the different powers to be able to walk where I want to go, or to create what I'm needing, and understanding how to pull that balance together. That's been some of the challenges that I have, because I get really passionate. You talked about that passion and that burning. Oh, I've touched there, and I understand how. And you have all experienced the energy that I can push out, and I can bring it in the words. And next thing you know, we're all up here, or we can just and we'll swoop and we'll build. So these are it's like that. How do you put it all together?
Right. So
and
from
I'm
my
just thankful.
perspective, I'll look at it from an energetic perspective, and then Janice, you can look at it from a humanoid, third dimensional perspective, because I'm looking at it from up here, right? Whereas everything is energy, and by calling something fierce, calling something south, calling something water, is just us labeling it, first of all. Okay. And to me, labels have become meaningless, but it's a way that I have to use them to communicate. Right. But I feel like I'm communicating this much of a story that's this big, because we're in a box when we use language. Right. And that's why meditations are really great, because we can start to tap into our feelings and tap into more than just words. And so when we talk about energy and we talk about these elements and the elementals, we're looking specifically for help in a certain direction. And your brain, your body, which is a Geiger counter, will look, there it is, and find and pull in that energy, that elemental that you need in the moment. Right. And so sometimes, I'm not kidding. I have been an iceberg. Like, you cannot move me. Right. I am deep. So don't even try. And then I can be river, and I can flow. Right. But it's me choosing the energy based on the situation that I'm in. Any thoughts, Janice?
Can you go back to the slide with one of the last ones we did with fusion, and we'll talk about it from there too? Because I don't know. I'm challenging Gail right now to see if she can find it. But fusion,
I'll do this. I'll share and I'll go backwards, and you tell me to stop.
Okay. A little bit more. There. Whoop. Whoop. Too far.
This way. This way.
Way too far. Go forward. Okay. Back. Whoa, 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 whoa. Back again. Now you passed fusion. Let's see. I'm trying to control it. There it is. Whoa. There we go. There we go.
Fusion.
Yes. So, Paul,
Okay.
you may well be a fusion if you're feeling that strong pull. You're adapting, supportive, energetic, grounding, focused, and a team player. If you have all of these going on, your elemental makeup may well be very close and very balanced. And that gives you the ability to communicate with all the other elemental makeups strongly. So you can see all sides because having a fusion, and like I said, I have worked with one fusion, and sometimes it can be confusing because you're feeling the pull in multiple directions. But with the fusion, you're going to have all the, if you look at all the strengths, the downside is you've got all the challenges too. But with the fusion, you've got all these characteristics and elemental makeup. And I think it's fascinating because, like I said, it's not common. It's a very low percentage of people that have a fusion makeup in their elements. Does that feel
I
right?
wonder, Janice, as those of us in this community and others, we are remembering and waking up more and more because we are creating a collective mind, if you will, right? I mean, there are serendipities that happen in this group that blow us away, right? Like, oh, right? And are we becoming fusion because we're leaving stuff behind? Is that part of the becoming? Right? For me, part of the becoming is that, like, there's no more male or female energy within me. It's balanced. It's both. Right. And I used to be very, very masculine. I mean, I was on the board of directors of a national insurance company. You don't get there without masculine energy, baby. Right. And that shift has changed my perspective and changed my stories.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I feel that too because I've become, I mean, after going through a lot of stuff, I feel like I'm coming into a more balanced place and understanding myself more. And I think as we do become more fusion as a community, we're going to appreciate how we interact more. And that's what I love about what we're both talking about is it gives us more understanding and how to communicate more effectively, how to appreciate where someone's coming from. I have rarely been wrong. I think I can say I've been 99% of the time I can pretty much guess somebody's elements when I talk to them. But one of my closest friends, I'm actually working with, coaching her now. I got her assessment back and I went, no way she can be fired. She seems so laid back and I mean, and
She's
just
on a
fun.
slow burn.
Oh my goodness. She was shocked too, but as we work through it with the assessment and coaching, I see the fire coming out, but she's held it back. She's held it back and she's not let that fire because she wanted to not ride over people. She's tried to
So
protect
it's
herself.
it's a social norm. One of the I'm sorry to cut you off, but there's really I don't want to get too far off of point. One of the things that I know has happened to me, and I know has happened to others in this community because we've had personal one-to-one conversations about the fact that the more I wake up, the less I fit in, Paul. The
Mhm.
more I wake up, the less I understand because I can see more. One of the things I mentioned this week is the more clarity I get, the clearer I become a mirror and the less someone wants to look. Right? Because they realize it's not me, it's themselves that they're looking at. Right? Because Paul, me looking at you, I'm just seeing a mirror of me. I'm not seeing you, I'm seeing a mirror of me. Right? And vice versa. Right? And to see that and to own that is very scary for a lot of people. So part of this is a lonely journey. So finding community where we can hold these kinds of conversations and understand the magic and the mystery together, the more that we are comfortable in how our skin is changing. Does that help?
Absolutely. And the graphics, they can only do so much. And I thank you so greatly for the conversation. It's got so much more layers to it, and I really want to engage this at some point with you deeper. So thank you for your time. It's definitely given me some clarity. And after a conversation I had last night, it's serendipitous, let me use that word, that this is all coming out right now as well, because I posed last night. I actually had a physical manifestation happen in me. I cramped up all over in places that I never cramped. My wife and my son were helping me. And it was after I had an in-depth conversation about actually stepping in and owning where I've been speaking of heading. And it was really, really powerful. So thank you again for sharing with me. I'm going to get all so.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. And transformation, spiritual transformation does have physical manifestations. Go ahead, Sanet. You were going to say something?
First of all, I quickly want to say, when that fusion came up, God showed me, or in my heart, I knew that our group, most of our group, especially the Mrs. Potts, the community, is there already. So thank you so much, Paul, for bringing that up. I also thought I want to do a test before just proclaiming I am a fusion, but I do, when I got that information from God to say that our group is becoming fusion, I just knew that's the truth. So thank you. So Gail and Janice, please, we have another 60 minutes. So if there's time for us to do one meditation, it will still be amazing. And then I just wanted
before we do that, I want to be sure if anyone has any questions or want to hold, because I can always record these and send it to people. Right. So anyone else have a question, a concern, a comment? There you go. Go ahead, Julie.
Okay, so thank you so much for your presentation. It's very interesting to me as a graduate with a psychology degree, and after going through the corporate world and going through all different kinds of, the Myers-Briggs tests, the colors, where I'm like a blue-green. And then, this, I definitely related it to astrology because I'm an air sign, so I'm definitely wind, but I also have some fire and water, and probably, and the lowest one would be earth, but I have some earth too. So I found it really interesting because, the air signs are, like quicker to change with the moods, right? And the water signs, like you were saying, you could be an iceberg. My ex-husband was a Pisces, and when he would get upset, he would stay upset. Like the waters were turbulent, and they took a long time to calm down. And I didn't understand it at first because I was like, why can't I cheer him up? Because you could cheer me up, like, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
We just have to sing to you up tune, Julie, and you'll laugh.
Exactly.
Yeah, the thing with waters is we can freeze, and I mean, once you're frozen out with the water, it's pretty much over. It's pretty much over. And but when we're in a good mood, boy, we're just gonna have fun and roll with it.
He was a great-hearted person, though. We're still very good friends to this day. So the turbulation went away. It's all good now.
He thawed out.
But it's very, very interesting how it maps to the astrological signs, right?
Yeah. Well, Alyssa, you're off of mute. You have something you want to share? Some question?
I was just going to thank you both for the amazing presentation. And I found the fusion very, very powerful because having so many challenges to work through over the last 15 years, the adaptability, I saw how I've embodied all of the elements through my personal healing journey of becoming resilient and creating miracles. So thank you for putting all of those together in a way that I could really be empowered. So I want to thank you all, because adaptability was the first fusion, and that is a superpower, because when you have to adapt, it's important that you're able to. So thank you.
Right, and do it with ease. Do it with ease. So Erica or Marie, either of you have
any thoughts?
Go ahead, Erica.
Yeah, I wanted to say, for me, it's amazing because I feel like I lean sometimes to fire, and I can have like a lot of ideas, but I just get lost. It's just like too many ideas, and I'm just like, I don't know which one I'm gonna contemplate. So it's good for me to think in this way, like how could I become more center? How could I become more fusion? How could I just embody them all and don't just lean in too much fire? Because I can be fire in all the ways. I have like a fiery personality, and even when I'm pissed off, I'm really, really that. So yeah, it was really fantastic. I love it. The two different kind of, well, not very different, but like the perspectives in like the human way and the elementals. Because when I was a kid, I had this, I'm gonna share this really quickly. I had this lock memory of me playing with like little things that were beings. And I was like, did I make that up? Did I dream that? And much as I got older with a cousin, I was talking and I was like, I don't know, I have this memory as a kid because I was with her, but I wasn't sure she had the memory. And then we were talking and putting things together, and she had the same memory. And I was like, wow, my gosh, like that really happened. And it's so amazing. And my kid has the same connection. And I still do, because when I travel places, I connect to even to the stones, like to the mountains, to the beings that live in the mountains, to like everything. And it's an amazing thing. There are allies in our support as well. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
the elementals trying to get our attention. And Marie,
Yes, all the time.
before we run out of time,
Yeah, I
Thank
was
you.
just going to say that I have seen this in action. We had a commander that came in once that said, we are going to start building teams based on this framework because a team can't have all fire, they can't have all whatever. Everybody has a place and right man, right job. And it was incredible how it worked, understanding, each person and where they fit and when you bring all of those together in the right spots, boy, does it ever make a difference.
It does. I've worked.
I will tell you, I worked with an African shaman who identified our elements, right? And that shaman's rule was, for every element that we have, we need 4 waters, right? In order for the elements to work together. So if there weren't 4 waters, we weren't in balance, which was very interesting. Go ahead, Janice.
Well, I worked with based on what Marie just shared. I worked with a team of 10 leaders. They were the what do you call it, management team I can't talk now. I'm running out of words. They were a management team for a local company and big organization. So I did an offsite for 2 days. Well, they all took the assessment, and when I got them, I mean, I knew they brought me in to build trust, to help trust building and communicate better. Well, I got the assessments, and 6 out of 10 were fires. And I said, okay, now I know why I'm here. I can see the problem right off. And so there was only 1 earth, I think, maybe 2 waters, but 2 out of the 6 fires were what we call a double fire. And what that means is their fire number was higher, so much higher than any other number. They're considered a double fire. So their strengths in the fire category were really over the top, and it was a lot of fun. But then they started to understand why they couldn't, that was like firefighting fire literally within the organization. So it was a good experience for me. But Marie, you're right, they didn't have enough of the balanced elements, so they needed to learn how to work better together, and it it was really funny. So if you feel yourself really strong with one of those, you might be a double wind, fire, earth, or God, I hope you're not a double earth, but that would be a tough one.
So
But,
Janice, how do we take the assessment, hun?
well, I'll put the link. I'll send Sanet the link to put in the show notes, and it is wonderful. It's something that I pay for, so there is a fee. It's nominal. It's not a lot. However, if someone wants to pay a little more, I'll throw in a coaching session to walk them through the assessment, and it really is a lot of fun. I've never had a client that didn't go, oh, that explains why I do what I do. That explains my problem or my issues. It's yeah. So I'll have it in the show notes.
Thank you.
Right. And I do want to emphasize, Janice did say, don't try to change Erica. just understand who you are. Change will happen naturally and organically. Don't think that it's wrong that you're Earth. You're just Earth. I love Earth. I love the smell. I love the taste. I love connecting with Earth. So it is time for us to zip it up, right?
So thank you, my beautiful Gail. Thank you, my beautiful Janice. I want to say thank you to Paul and his wife on their anniversary. They didn't go out. They spent time with us. So my beautiful Paul's wife, I'm so sorry I don't have your name, and your son's is there. Do you want to, how was the session for you?
It was it was so lovely to hear and understand, and I look forward to maybe peeking in a few more.
Wow, thank you. And there's your son. And how was it for you, young man?
I only was here for the last like 5 minutes, but it was quite interesting.
Okay, no, that's wonderful.
Fire.
You see fire.
I do want to throw in a little note here, a little footnote, that with the assessment, if you do your whole family, if you want to have your whole family do the assessment, and then I can share with you a report how best to work within the family and how to communicate. Yeah. So I can do all that. I had a client, her whole family works with her. So I said, you got no choice. They've all got to take the assessment because
right. If you to understand it, we all got to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much, my beautiful ones. And then my beautiful viewers, thank you so much for being here. We are going to say goodbye to all of you with a kiss in a few seconds. And then we're going to stop the recording. And there's just a few things that I needed to talk about. So my beautiful ladies and Paul, will you please give the viewers a kiss and say have a beautiful day. Mwah! Bye, my beautiful viewers.